Let's get started. I'm going to set this little guy aside, and we're going to start with a 4-inch piece of stretched canvas. It is mountable, so you can put it on a desk as a base, like we did with this piece over here. We could just set it on the desk and it makes a great little piece of art. Or, because it is a piece of canvas that is stretched with a frame, you can hang this on the wall. So keep that in mind when you decide how you're going to make and finish your mixed media piece. We're going to make something similar to the piece I just showed you, and with that we'll get started by painting the base. The base of our piece is going to be holding flowers. So with that in mind, I am going to put some green metallic acrylic on the canvas. Now I'm not doing any scientific application here. I'm using a sponge and I'm just basically smearing it around because I just want total coverage on my canvas. I don't want any white to show. So we'll just go around the sides. Super, super easy. Maybe a little messy, but really, really easy. And out of many things messy, beautiful things do come. So here we go. Now we have our green metallic, and it's pretty much a light leafy green all over that canvas. So there's a couple of choices you have. You can just let it dry like that. You could add some glitter or texturizer, or you could add another color, which is what I'm going to do. I'm going to add a little bit of turquoise blue just to mix it up a little. And again, I'm not going to put any emphasis on where it goes. I'm just going to pat it all around because a lot of other stuff is going to go on top of this, so it doesn't really matter. So there we go. I'm just going to go with that. Just a messy little piece of canvas with blue and green acrylic. So that has to dry, and we're going to skip and bump that up a little bit by hitting it with a hair dryer. So give me 5 to 10 seconds. I'll be right back with a perfectly dry canvas ready to move forward. We just jumped right into covering our canvas, as you can see, because I wanted to get it dry so we could move on to the next step. Let's take a couple of seconds to cover what comes in your kit. The first thing that I'm going to cover is the fact that you are going to get an array of items to use to colorize the little doodads you're going to stick on your canvas and your canvas as well. I think you can see there you have a glitter paste that's sapphire, a glitter paste that's holographic with much smaller glitter elements, periwinkle, leafy green, and a peachy metallic. So these colors will really complement each other on this piece. On the canvas itself, I used the exact same leafy green metallic that's here, but from my little craft closet, I picked up a bit of turquoise blue gloss enamel. Love this color, so I just threw it in there. I'm going to encourage you to just look around the house for colors of paint. It can be pastels, it can be acrylic, it can be whatever you want it to be, watercolor, because you can just get enough base color on there to let it dry and have it in the background and seal it. This is a new pastel by Prismacolor. You can get this wet and brush it on. We may do a little of that in a little bit. And there's just anything at all. That's the great thing about mixed media. So don't be shy, try whatever it is, and you can't go wrong. And if you use pretty colors, it's going to turn out pretty, no matter what. You're also going to get some textural elements. In this case, it is a piece of 3-inch wide lace. Now, what can you do with that? Well, you can cut it into strips the long way and make it skinnier and ruffle it up on the base to create texture. Glue it down with hot glue or tacky glue or whatever you have. The glue is not included in the kit. and then paint over it or leave it as is. It depends on how you want your base to look. I'll show you what I'm going to do with this later. You're going to also get a loose glitter in a puffer bottle. So after all is said and done, if you want to put glitter clear over the top of this, spray it a little bit with a sealant and put some glitter on it, you'll have your glitter for that. We will not include the sealant in the kit because you may need a spray sealant, which is much more difficult to ship. You are also going to get a little pack of 2 sizes of wooden beads. You're going to get a little 6mm bead and a 10mm set of beads. That is what you can use to create elements like the ones you see on this 3-dimensional stack right here. We will include also with your kit a set of clay cutters, and that's one of the new tools we have on our site. This is a sunflower plunger cutter. Basically, you supply the clay, we're going to give you the cutters, and that's true for the leaves as well, to make the flowers and leaves as in the center of this piece. So you'll have that. I'm going to show you how to use all these tools along with your canvas. You will get applicators as well. You'll get a sponge and a little brush. I'm going to show you how to use all that as we move forward. So let's just do that. We're going to go back to our sponge, and I'm going to add some of this glitter gel to the top of my canvas. I'm not going to spend a lot of time doing this because I'm going to cover the canvas with some textures as in the lace and the flower elements themselves. I just want this glitz in case the part that peeks through catches a little light. Can't have too much glitter. So that's what I'm doing with that. And there you go. So you can now see that we have our canvas with some sapphire glitter and the green and the turquoise from before. And I'm going to pop away for another 5 seconds and hit this with a hairdryer, and I'll be right back. Now we're going to move to the lace texture element. And what I like to do is go ahead and stick a piece of that on sort of just basically over the top. The easiest thing to do this with is a type of glue, like a tacky glue. But for the sake of saving time today, I am going to just tack this down with a little bit of hot glue. If I was doing this for a gift for somebody or for a final piece for myself, I would use a tacky glue or a Mod Podge type decoupage sealant, just because it makes a much firmer seal against the actual canvas. So we're going to cut this to size. Okay, it doesn't have to be perfect. No science, no pressure. Okay, and I happen to have a little glue gun over here, so I will go ahead and pop some glue on there. It'll be off camera for a sec because my cord's not long enough. Okay, now we've got some hot glue on there. It's going to take a couple of seconds for that to dry, and while that's drying, I'm going to take some of the remaining lace and I'm going to cut it down the middle and make a more narrow strip. And again, does not have to be perfect. It really doesn't matter. It's just for texture. So I'm going to cut across, and that's going to give me 2 narrow strips, half the width, so it's about 1.5 inches wide. And I'm going to go ahead and tack those down too. So I'm going to start with a little dollop of glue and stick the lace over that like so. Then I'm going to fold it over just in a little loop like that. I think you can see that I just did a little loop, and touch it right back down to the spot where I had the original glue. Maybe put another little dollop on there, and I'm going to do that a couple of more times. So I'm going to fold it over on itself and press it down against the canvas and just keep gluing it down until I reach the end of that strip of lace. So go ahead and get yourself a paintbrush, and I'm going to use the periwinkle color, and I'm going to come in here and I'm just going to go right over top of that lace. Doesn't have to be the whole thing, it can just be parts, and it can then look more distressed. Cover up that hot glue because we don't really want to look at glue spots. And just get some blue in there. And it really gives it a different sort of textural finish than just having flat one-dimensional canvas. You don't have to be as messy as I am, but I have this board down on my workspace for a reason, because I am messy, because I'm always in a hurry. So there we go, a little over the top. I'm going to leave a little of the white lace in there, I think, because I just think it looks sort of like baby's breath in a flower bouquet. So to me, I kind of really like that. And there we go. Now we have the periwinkle in the lace, and I'm going to toss a little loose glitter over top of that while the paint is still wet. So grab your loose glitter that's in your bottle. The colors may vary. In this case, I'm using a little bit of a light gold color of glitter. A light gold glitter accent. So in another few seconds, I'm going to let this dry. We'll be right back for the next step.